Hello everyone, welcome to this session. So in the previous session, we have learned about the type of error that a model makes while we will train the model. So we have learned about the overfit, underfit and perfect model. So here we will see how we can distinguish all these three models. Okay, let's start. Let's see all the three models, that's underfit, perfect and overfit model. So here, this is a model which is a curve here. So this fit the data perfectly. This is a perfect model. Okay, here it is. This is a polynomial of degree 2. This curve. Okay. So next is the high bias or the underfit model, which is a line here that separates this 2 point. Okay. This won't this won't fit the data perfectly. And next is the high variance or overfit model. Sorry. It is a polynomial of degree 6. It fills the data perfectly, okay, but it won't generalize well on the testing set. Okay, so we will study the linear model, quadratic model, and a polynomial model of degree 6. Okay, so now we will split the data into the training and the testing set. So here the set of the point which is colored at the center is a training set, and the set of point which is not colored at the center, it is a testing set. Okay, so let's start with the linear model here. So in this model, what we will do, that we will find the training and the testing error. So here this line separates the blue point with the red point, okay? And now we will find the training error. So we have to find out the how many training data is there which is misclassified here. So we can see this two red point is misclassified in the blue region, and this blue point is misclassified in the red region. So total, we have the training error as 3. Okay. Now we will see the testing data. So here we can see that, so this is the 2 point. This two red point is misclassified here. So, and this blue point is misclassified. So here they are totally 3 points. Okay. So we have a training error as 3 and testing error is also 3 here. Okay. So we will plot this 2 point, this 2 error in this graph. So as we have the training error as 3 and testing error as 3, so here on the line of 3, we have plotted this point. Okay, now let's see the quadratic model. This curve fills the data perfectly, and now we will find out the training error. So we can see this training data is misclassified. So we have one training error, and this red point, the testing set, is misclassified. So testing set and the testing error is also 1. Okay, now we will plot this point in the on the line of 1. Now let's see the polynomial model of degree 6, which is the overfit model here. This fit the data perfectly based on the training set. So we can see that it on this training error is 0 here. And the testing set, as it won't generalize well on the testing set, so we can see this 2 is a testing error here. Okay, so we'll plot this point in this graph. Now what we'll do, we will see the model complexity graph. So here, in order to draw model complexity graph, we will start with this linear model point till the polynomial model of the degree 6. So we have plotted the point as we have seen that the training and the testing error was the 3 and 3. Same for this quadratic model and the polynomial model. Now we will join the error for the testing and also for the training error. Okay. So when we join, so this two curve, this two graph which we have plotted here is called the model complexity graph here. Okay, where on the left hand side is an underfit model which fits the data, which won't fit the data perfectly, and it will have the high testing and a high training error. Now on the right hand side, we have overfit model which fits the data perfectly on the training set, but it won't generalize well on the testing set. So we have relatively low training error but high testing error. Now at the middle, we can see that it is relatively low testing error and low training error also. So this is a perfect model. Okay. Now let's see the clear picture of the model complexity graph, where this two curve is for the training set and training error, and this is for the testing error. So here the x-axis represent the complexity of the graph from the It will start from the linear model till it go till the polynomial model of degree 4. Okay, so on the left we have the underfit model, on the right we have the overfit model, and at the center on the 2 we have the just right, that is a perfect model here. Okay, okay, so something we have done wrong here. What we have done wrong? So here we have taken this testing data to train the model. We have taken this testing data to find out whether this model is good or not. We are making the decision with this testing data. So this is not allowed. This is not recommended to do to touch the testing data. Testing data is only used to test the model. Okay. So what we can do instead of this? So it is better to split the data into even more. Okay. So let's see. Previously, we have divided the set of the data into training and a testing set. And previously, in the previous slide, we have seen that testing data were used to decide the, to make a decision of the model. Okay, but that is not recommended. Now we will split the data into the 3 sets: training set, cross-validation set, and testing set. Training set will be used to train the model, and cross-validation set will be used to make a decision of the model, like which degree of the model we should use. Okay, and testing set will be used to test the model. This is the correct one. Okay. Now, when we draw the model complexity graph with the help of the cross-validation data, so it will be like this. Okay. Okay, now we will see the generalized picture of the model complexity graph. Okay, this is a generalized picture of the model complexity graph. Okay. Now we will learn the useful method to recycle our data, that is K-fold cross-validation. Okay, as we are separating the data into the training and the testing set, but sometimes what we are doing, we are keeping those data as a testing set, which could be useful to train the model. Okay, so then it comes the concept of the K-fold cross-validation. Okay, so in case of K-fold cross-validation, we'll break our data into the K bucket. Okay, in this case, K is 4 here. Okay, and now what we'll do, we will 4 here. Now we will just train our model K times, and each time we will use the different bucket as our testing and the training set, and then at the last we will take the average of all this and we'll get the final model. Okay, so it is very simple to do this using the sklearn in the program by just creating the K-fold object. Okay, and passing the giving the parameter as the size of the data, the size of the testing set. Okay, now it is also recommended to randomize our data to remove any kind of biasing. Okay, so here we will split the data into the bucket, except this data are chosen randomly instead of in the order. And randomizing is very easy in the sklearn by setting the Cephal parameter as true while initializing the K-fold object. Okay. Now we will learn how to distinguish the model. Okay, with the help of the learning curve. We will learn about the learning curve, what it is. Okay, let's start with this underfit model. Okay, so here what we'll do, we will train the model with a few points, and then we'll increase the number of points gradually. So here at first we will train the model with a 4 points. This is a 4 point here. Okay, so it is very easy to train the model with a few points, and we'll get a very low training error. Okay, as it is very easy to separate those two set of points. Okay, but once we evaluate on the cross validation data, here you can see this is the cross validation data. So when we will come to the cross validation data, we will see some of the points are misclassified, since we have trained the model using the few points, and it will have a very high cross validation error. Now we will plot this two error in this graph. This is the training error and this is cross validation error. Now we will increase the number of points to 8. Now we will train the model with 8 points. So it will become very difficult. It will slightly become difficult to train the model with 8 point. Okay, so it will have the slightly more training error, but the cross validation error will decrease because because it has been trained with the more data. Okay, so the cross validation error will be decreased. Okay, now we'll plot this 2 point here. Okay, now we'll again increase the number of point, okay, to 12 point. Now we'll train with a 12 point, and we can see the training error will again increase a bit since it is very difficult to train the model with a more point. Okay, but the cross validation error will decrease a bit since more data is used to train the model, but it won't decrease too much as it is the linear model which won't fit the data perfectly. So we'll plot the point here. Okay, so it seems that as we are increasing the number of points more and more, the training error will keep increasing and cross validation error will keep decreasing. So when we draw this two curve here, okay, when we draw this two curve, we see that this two this two curve come closer to each other. And it converges at some point, and the point they converge will be very high. Okay, and this is the underfit model, so it will have the high error. Okay, let's do the same thing for the quadratic model also. See the quadratic model, this fit the data perfectly. Now we will train with a 4 point. Okay, and we will see that it is very easy to train the model with the 4 points. So it will have a tiny training error, but the cross validation error will be more because we have used a very less point to train the model. Okay, so again we will increase the number of point to 8, and again we will train the model, and we can see that slightly we have the more training error as there are more training error to as we had more training data to train the model. So it will increase slightly. But cross validation error will decrease as we have trained the model with a more point. So the cross validation error will decrease gradually, or you can say no, not gradually, steeply, because this is a good model, and this curve divide the data perfectly. Okay. Now when we increase the number of point to 12 point, the same thing happened. The training error increases a slight bit and cross validation error decreases. Okay, but these two curves now get closer to each other, except now they will converge at a lower point since this model is good and we expect the smaller error. Now finally we'll do this for the overfit model also. Okay, now let's train with a 4 point, and again we can fit the data very perfectly with a 4 point. So we'll have a very tiny training error, but cross validation error will be high. Okay, now again we'll increase the number of point to 8 point. We can see slightly larger training error because this model tries to fit the data perfectly with the training data. Okay, and the cross validation will decrease up slightly. Okay, same thing happened for the 12 point also. Now there's something interesting happened here. The training error will not grow too large since it tries to fit the data perfectly, and the cross validation error will not get too low, as we know that the model that overfit do not do well on the cross validation set. So as we increase the number of points, that these two curves will come closer to each other, but will not converge to the same point. There will always be a distance between them. Okay. So in the summary, we have this 3 model: high bias, just right, and a high variance model. So the curve for the high bias get closer to each other and converge at a high point. And in the good model, the curve again come closer to each other but converges at a low point. And in the high variance, the curve do not come closer to each other. So this is a way to distinguish between these 3 models by using the learning curve. Okay. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching this video.